Welcome to ARPF Simple Finances. We're continuing with the Bitrefill card, and today we're going to see how to top up the card with money from Bitrefill, okay? In this case with cryptocurrencies, and specifically we're going to use USDC. You already know that we have a video on the channel where I explain how to exchange USDT for USDC, especially for those of you in Europe, since using USDT is no longer allowed, okay? Since it has been practically delisted from most exchanges, and even more so from payment services like the Bitrefill card, which in this case is in Sweden, and since it's within the European Union, it no longer accepts USDT. We can only work with Bitcoin, USDC, Ethereum, or BNB, okay? So what do? Basically, we go to bitrefill.com, log in with our user account. Remember, this card requires KYC, okay? We go to the card, select top up money, and this screen appears. We select the crypto we want to use from the options here, see? Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, USDC, Polygon, USDC on Polygon, and BNB. In this case, we choose USDC. The minimum top-up amount, okay, it says it's 10, so you have to send at least more than 10 euros, which is the equivalent of 11.97 in USDC. If you send less than this, you might have issues, and then you'll have to contact them by email, which is a bit of a hassle. They show you the exchange rate they apply, and keep in mind the fees, which we also cover in another video, the fees you pay for the Bitrefill card when you top it up, okay? It's important for you to keep this in mind. Once you've done this QR code is the address of your card, or below you'll see a long code, which is the address of your card. You copy that code and go to your exchange, okay? Once you've converted USDT to USDC, if you didn't have it, or if there was no USDC or Bitcoin, whichever one you want to use, you go to your exchange. In this case, it's Huobi, but they all work similarly. You select USDC, okay? It tells you how much USDC you have available to withdraw. Here, you enter the address that appears on your Bitrefill card, the one I mentioned earlier. You enter the withdrawal amount and it will show you the fee, which is the gas you'll be charged for sending it. Keep in mind that you can only use the Ethereum network, as I mentioned at the beginning. It says it here. Do you see it? Only send USDC on the Ethereum network. What does this mean? It means it's going to be a bit more expensive than usual, because with USDT we normally use the Tron network and it costs us a ridiculous amount to send USDT, for just $1. However, in this case, USDC uses the Ethereum network and it's more expensive, okay? But we have no choice but to do it this way. In this case, as you can see, it's going to cost us $4.29 plus the Bitrefill fee, plus the fee. Don't forget about the variable exchange rate that Airfield will apply, which is the company that manages the Bitrefill card. So all things considered, out of every 100 euros, we'll end up paying close to 8 to 10% in fees once you add up everything they're going to charge. The transfers, the Bitrefill fee, the Airfield fee, the exchange rate, and the gas, okay? That's why it's interesting when we're looking for cards to spend cryptocurrencies to find ones that let us operate with USDT. Why? Because the gas fees are much lower, and if not, you can see the networks here. If you use B20, they're charging us 53 cents in fees. If you use Solana, they're charging us 176, which is cheaper than the Ethereum network, which is one of the most expensive. But in this case, that's how it is. As I said, once you have all this ready, you click send, or in this case, withdraw money, and it usually takes about 2 to 5 minutes for the Bitrefill card to be loaded. If it takes longer, you just need to be a bit patient, because sometimes the networks get congested. Usually, it also shows here how long it will take. Do you see it? Here it says arrival time in 2 minutes, but you also have to keep in mind that Bitrefill manages it as well, and in this case, it might take a little longer. If you see that it hasn't arrived within an hour, I recommend that you get in touch with Bitrefill to check if there's any error. But it's very important that you copy the address exactly as it is and paste it here, because if you enter it manually, you might make a mistake with a letter or a number, and that money will be gone. There's no way to recover it, it's impossible, so be very careful with that, alright? I hope I've been helpful. Subscribe to the channel and follow us to see more practical topics about payment methods, receiving payments, and everything related to cryptocurrencies. Subscribe.